Doesn't it feel like all the managed Wi-Fi providers at OPTECH are saying the same thing? Not us. Hi, my name's Adam Bell, founder and CEO of Internet Subway. We're a managed service provider that delivers the next generation of managed Wi-Fi for multifamily communities. It's not your mama's managed Wi-Fi. With multi-gigabit performance, the latest in wireless technology, deep integrations with your property management software, and more, we help owners generate net operating income today and throughout the term of the agreement. If you'll be at OPTECH this November, let's meet up and talk about what the next generation of managed Wi-Fi really means and how it's transforming experiences for both residents and property teams alike. Looking forward to connecting and seeing many of you in person.
Hello, everyone. This is Adlane Fellah, the favorite research analyst at Maravedis. Welcome to this new episode of the Industry Shakers. Today, I have the pleasure of welcoming Adam Bell, who is the CEO at Internet Subway. Hello, Adam. How are you today?
Hi, Adlane. I'm doing well. Great to be here.
Great to have you. We're just a few weeks away from OPTECH, and obviously, there's a lot of preparation towards that. It's the ultimate multifamily event. Before we dive into OPTECH, I want the audience to know more about Internet Subway. Can you present us your company?
Sure. Internet Subway is a managed service provider, internet service provider, and as I like to refer to it, an internet experience provider. We're taking the accepted paradigm of managed Wi-Fi and delivering the next generation of managed Wi-Fi with personalized experiences, tailored support, and touch-free, seamless experiences for property owners, property managers, and residents.
Okay. Well, that I speak to a lot of MSPs and ISPs, and I always have a hard time understanding, how they differentiate. Tell us something unique about your company.
A lot of internet service providers care a lot about latency and bandwidth, and we do too. But in 2025 and going forward, those are table stakes. So what's left? That's the resident experience. That's how can we provide a top tier experience such that the internet just works and residents and property teams don't have to reach out. But if they do, we can promptly identify who they are, where they are, what their equipment is doing, and how their experience is. And most importantly, how can we resolve any issues promptly? So if bandwidth and latency are table stakes, then the customer experiences that we can deliver are what differentiates us.
Okay, that's great. Hi, everyone. This is Adlane Fellah, Chief Analyst at Maravedis Research. I'm very excited today to present to you our new MDU Connectivity Research Annual Subscription Service for 2025-2026, starting Q4 2025. The service comprises a number of deliverables, starting with the quarterly research reports focusing on each of the sub-segments composing the MDU market. Each quarterly research reports will be followed by a client-only analyst briefing to answer any questions you may have. Optionally, you can also get access to two Maravedis Market Score reports, one dedicated to MSPs and the other to wireless LAN vendors, that are combining information from NPS score and market sentiment. Those are very unique because they're specific to MDU, and information is coming from online service from the market. And finally, you get access to ongoing support throughout the year with me. Thank you very much for your attention, and I look forward to answering any further questions. So before we jump into segments, can you describe who is your best fit customer, your ideal customer profile?
We love working with all property owners and a variety of property types. Right now, I'm most excited, I would say, about market rate or conventional multifamily owners and asset managers. Generally, with 3 to 15,000 units is sort of the sweet spot. We love dealing with owners of all sizes, don't get me wrong, but we've had the most success with owners who are implementing a new strategy and are trying to layer on additional property technologies, and we can help be the supporting backbone and infrastructure that also generates a ton of NOI.
Okay, fantastic. So if I'm a property owner, I'm listening to you, what advice, what can you give me in terms of the pitfall I should avoid?
Well, I'd say there's a lot of pitfalls out there. The biggest pitfalls, certainly during new construction, are ensuring that you have the correct low voltage plans and infrastructure that goes into your development. Sometimes owners have deals with big broadband or big telecom providers who might install the infrastructure, but take no notice of access control system, security cameras, other property technologies like meters, monitors, audio, video, other things that the property definitely needs to have a successful business operation and rely on the internet, but is not necessarily coordinated from the outset. So certainly during new construction, making sure that you address all of your internet service needs, including all the property technologies that are going to rely on that internet service, both today and in the future. And then for retrofits or properties that are trying to add these technologies, don't take a shortcut to use existing infrastructure if the investment is short-lived. So there are infrastructure investments you can make that have longevity, like running fiber to the unit versus using antiquated existing coax cable, for example.
Okay. Okay, I hear you. So like future-proofing the property in terms of connectivity. Now, if you have a future-proof property, and I'm a property owner, I want to make sure that I'm getting the most bucks out of my investment. How do you envision or assure that the price of broadband, for example, today is reflected in terms of how it's going to evolve in 10 years from now?
That's an excellent question, and it's always something that we're continuously thinking about. Since we were developed from within a multifamily environment to solve problems for multifamily, we think about it from an owner and asset management perspective. And we say, well, what net operating income can we help an owner generate today? And how will they generate that same net operating income 5 years from now or 10 years from now? And so what's very common today is a up to 1 gigabit per second package, and owners are able to generate anywhere from $40 to $55 depending on their market and the service that they're delivering. But the big question is, will they still be able to deliver and generate that NOI in 2028, 2030, 2035? Okay. And the answer is no, I don't think so. The cost per megabyte of bandwidth is going to continue to compress over time. However, the value of a homeowner's expense for that service is going to stay relatively flat. And what I mean by that is the value of 1 gig service, whether real or perceived, will compress. So if it's worth 75 or 85 today, by the time 2030 rolls around, it is likely to be reduced. What is the people who live in those homes are likely to spend $75 or $85 still on their internet service. They're going to be buying higher tier packages. They're going to be buying a bundle service. They're going to be buying something with security or equipment included. They're going to be buying a 2.5, a 5, or an 8 gig package. But that $75, $85 expense can still be achieved if you plan and build the appropriate infrastructure. Then your net operating income as a multifamily property owner can scale along with you. And that's one of the things that we bring to the table is we say, hey, owner, if you put this infrastructure in and we deploy as we describe, then we can generate this NOI for you today. And as the market changes and the value of 1 gig decreases, we'll click a couple of buttons and increase the base to 2.5 or 5 or whatever the market demands, allowing you to continue to generate the NOI that you've underwritten. So generation of NOI and protection of that NOI over term is often overlooked. And I'm here with a megaphone just shouting at the property owners, hey, look out for the future. So again, I think that is certainly one thing that we do differently and how we view bandwidth.
I think you're right in the sense that we don't hear a lot of MSPs talking about, how the market will evolve in the next, 5, 10 years. So I think property owners can appreciate that perspective. Now, if you had a magic wand, what service or technology or aspect would you add to become more successful and be able to help property owners better?
Well, I think that it doesn't necessarily require a magic wand. It's certainly something that we have in the works, and we're excited to roll out in various phases as it gets developed. But essentially, it's that single pane of glass that answers all questions for all stakeholders, whether it be installers on the deployment side of things, whether it be our project managers who are reviewing the install progress, property owners who are reviewing statistics, upgrade revenue, unit churn, whether it's property managers looking at the overall health of the property or move-ins, move-outs, upgrades, revenue, anything that might be pertinent to them, and the resident as well. All of that aside from our property teams, right? But combining all of these disparate data sources and synthesizing them for action for various stakeholders enabled a lot of ways by the power of AI. I think that's the magic wand that we're all sort of waving around. And I don't think that it's magic anymore. I think that it's just a matter of time.
Okay, all right, it's in the works then. The final question here is, OPTECH, it's coming up November 17 to November 19 in Vegas. You're going to be there. Your team is going to be there. Tell us what you expect from OPTECH and how can property owners take advantage of your presence there.
I'm very excited about OPTECH this year. I've gone several years in a row at various venues, and OPTECH's always a great time to get together with property owners, asset managers, property managers, regional managers, anybody who is understanding the daily operations and pain points of property teams. I'm a technology guy. I'm a nerd. I love talking about this stuff, but I'm also passionate about housing and how that impacts people's lives on a daily basis. So I think talking to us provides a unique perspective from a consulting point of view, as well as a let's help you understand how to best provide the highest quality service for your property, your residents, and your coffers. So, I love to meet people where they are. It's awesome to understand what their goals are and how we can enable our technology to achieve their goals.
Yeah. By the way, we will include the QR code on your side of the screen so people can find you and book a time to meet you. Any final remarks before OPTECH?
Only other remarks are there's a tangled web of existing contracts out there. So when we are going to engage, which we're definitely going to engage, but when we engage to talk about Internet Subway, just do your research and pull together any of your existing contracts, because the more we know, the more we can be effective when we talk about going forward.
All right. So that would be all. Thanks, Adam, for sharing your insights today. Thanks to the listener for listening. And please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and until the next episode. Thank you very much.